Mikey Madison joins me now in the Woman's Hour studio. Welcome.
Hi there. I'm so lovely to be speaking with you. You have a beautiful voice, by the way.
Kind of you, well, not as good as yours.
No. You have a true, a wonderful voice.
Oh, I'm going to put that on my show reel. Thank you very much. Now, congratulations on the Oscar nomination. Where were you when you heard the news?
Well, thank you. I was in a hotel in New York, but I was FaceTiming with my mom and my dad and my brother and my dog. And yes, it was very, very surreal, but it was nice to be on FaceTime with my family. I think it felt a little bit more real to experience it with them.
So to share the moment must have been quite something. And did the dogs go wild? Because presumably the humans went wild.
Well, the camera was just pointed at my mom's face, and I have some cute screenshots of her crying. But no, I don't know. I don't think my dog cared at all. I'm his servant, basically.
Yeah, that's how dogs go. That's how dogs roll. You are only 25. What a trajectory. Does this feel real?
No. No, it doesn't. It's very surreal. I feel like I often have to sort of be like mentally pinching myself and trying to hold certain memories in my head and really think of things or write certain things down just because I want to remember certain periods of time. I think the last year since last March has been such a whirlwind, and it feels like it's simultaneously gone super, super fast and also slow, and so yeah, it's been a very interesting experience.
And it must have started off as a kind of another pinch me moment, because the director said, I haven't quite finished writing this, but I want to write it for you. So this is Sean Baker who came to you and said this.
Yeah.
How was that?
Well, the wonderful Sean Baker, he is so amazing. He actually hadn't even started writing anything at all. He just had a very loose idea for the script and what the story might be, and he reached out a couple days after a horror film I had come out in theaters and was like, I want to write something for you. I want to work with you. These are a couple actors I have in mind as well for the film. Yura Borisov, who he had seen at a film at Cannes when he was premiering his film Red Rocket, and Karin Karagulian, who's been in all of his films. And I love Sean's work, and so I accepted very happily. And yeah, it's been such an interesting journey from the culmination of the idea all the way to now.
Let's take our listeners then into Annie's world, into the world of Nora. Tell us about her. Tell us about who she is, what she does, where she lives, the choices that she's made in her life thus far.
Yeah, so I play Annie in the film Nora, and she's a young woman who lives in Brighton Beach in Brooklyn. She works in the city at a club called Headquarters. She's a dancer and a sex worker, and she ends up meeting the son of a Russian oligarch at work, and it's not a spoiler, but she ends up marrying him. They have a shotgun wedding, and sort of things happen where his family is sort of trying to tear them apart, and she's kind of working to fight to save her marriage and preserve some of her dignity, I think, throughout the film.
And she does fight, doesn't she? In so many ways.
Oh, yeah, she's a true fighter. That's one of the things I recognized from the beginning as her amazing fighting spirit. She's scrappy. But she's a fighter not just physically, but emotionally as well. She is really willing to put herself out there to fight for what she believes is rightfully hers.
So to do your research, I mean, you went full in, didn't you? And on the research you did on those kind of clubs and the women that work in those kind of clubs, tell us what you did, who you spoke to.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the research is one of the most important things I did for the film. she's a sex worker, she's a sex professional, and so I really needed to immerse myself as much as possible, do as much research and be a student in terms of talking to women. We had incredible consultants who were brought into the film who have similar lived experience to Annie, and they were able to offer so much beautiful insight into that kind of work and what their life is like and the nuances to their job day to day. I went to clubs and I shadowed women, which was such an interesting experience. Shadowed women at some clubs in New York, and specifically at headquarters, or Rosewood, the club in New York that my character works at. And that was really interesting to kind of just be a fly on the wall in a way, and just try to observe and soak in the environment as much as possible, understand what that's like, what the conversations are like, and
there's a great camaraderie amongst the women. There's competition as well, though, isn't there? Because you're earning a living, and you only earn as much as you dance for people.
Yeah, I think there's certainly camaraderie, and I think it differs person to person, but also, like, you really have to hustle doing that kind of work, especially working as a dancer at clubs in the U.S. You most of the time have to pay a fee, like a fee to work there. So I think a lot of women pay like maybe $200 to just enter the club, and then you have to work to make up that amount, and then you're also tipping the DJ, the bouncers, the security guards. It's hard, and so to even just break even, you really have to kind of work your butt off, excuse me.
You have to charm everybody, because everybody in the chain helps you earn your living.
Well, it's a psychological job as well. You have to be quite intuitive, I think, to do that kind of work. And it's physically demanding and emotionally demanding as well, because you're walking up to someone, trying to connect with them, trying to read them and see, oh, what can I offer them? What can they offer me? Like, how can we have a connection and both enjoy each other's company as much as possible?
Did you have any hesitations about portraying a sex worker? Because it's a controversial choice, shall we say, for some people.
No, I didn't. I'd seen Sean's films, and he's dedicated most of his career to telling these stories and trying to destigmatize sex work as much as possible. And he's not interested in sensationalizing the work or dramatizing it in any negative way. He really